Hi, thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to be demonstrating on how to make date walnut bars. These bars are great. They're super easy to make and they are wonderful for packing in kids' lunches or packing in lunches to work. They're a really easy way of making a lot of the commercially available bars that are blended of different nuts and fruits. And so it's always better if you can make those things at home because we can basically kick up the ingredients and make it really healthy for you as well. One of the first ingredients in the date bars is walnuts. And so walnuts are a really wonderful nut. They're really nutty and they have a little bit of a bitter aftertaste to it. That bitter aftertaste is attributed to the little white flaky skin that's on the outside of a walnut. It's important to leave that skin on your walnuts though because about 90% of the antioxidants are contained in that outer skin. And so by removing that, you lose a lot of health benefits. Walnuts are really high in polyphenols, which is the type of antioxidants, and so they've been shown to be really beneficial to brain health and just in terms of protecting our minds as we age so that we don't have any cognitive declines as we get older. Walnuts are also a really great source of omega-3 fatty acids, and so having a plant source of omega-3 fatty acids is really great. Especially for individuals who aren't big fish fans, this is a great way to get those healthy omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3 fatty acids are really important for reducing inflammation and also very important for brain development. And so it is very critical for smaller children and pregnant moms to get good sources of omega-3 fatty acids in the diet, so walnuts is a perfect snack for that. So first thing we're going to do is put our ingredients into our food processor here. So I'm going to start with our walnuts. Okay, we got about a cup of walnuts. And then my next ingredient is cashews. And I really like cashews. They're a very creamy nut. And so when they're added to recipes like bars, they just blend up really well and create a really nice uniform texture. So cashews are added as well. Now, because both of these nuts are in their whole form, what we need to do is blend them first and break them down a little bit before we add the rest of our ingredients. All right, so I'm going to turn on our food processor here, and you can just kind of pulse the food processor until the nuts are broken down into small pieces before we add the second steps. And so you can see that our nuts here, they're not totally broken down, but they're in really kind of a coarse ground. And so that'll give nice texture to these bars. Our next ingredients are dates. And so there are a lot of different varieties of dates. These are called medjool dates. I really like the medjool dates because of the date varieties that are at least available here in the United States. The medjool dates are kind of the biggest, most supple, moist form of date. And so they have pits inside. And so what you'll want to do to pit it is you just basically split it with your finger and then you'll see that there's a pit inside. And so make sure that those are removed if you haven't purchased pitted dates because, pits, nobody wants to eat a pit. So very easy to remove. Dates are actually fresh. It's, a common misconception that these are dried fruits, but this is actually a fresh date. And they provide a lot of quick energy, so they are rich in sugar, but it's a natural sugar. But dates are also really high in fiber. And so when you get that combination of a high fiber food that's also high in sugar, it's really satisfying to sweet tooths, but it doesn't really cause that spike in blood sugar. So that's really great. Dates are also really high in B vitamins, and so they are used a lot in terms of if you're very tired or fatigued and you just need a quick boost, all you need to do is eat a couple of dates, and that often is all you'll need with that. Oftentimes when individuals are kind of starting to reduce sugar in their diet and get away from more processed sweets, I will recommend that they increase dates because dates are, they are really sweet. And they're also very satisfying. And so for most people, if you have a sweet tooth, eating just 2 or 3 dates can satisfy that. And it can get you away from that habit of going to the crackers and the brownies and the cakes and things like that. So it's a great first step in terms of moving away towards more processed foods. So dates are in our fruit processor. The next ingredient we're gonna add is hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are a really nice little seed. They're really creamy because they have actually a pretty high fat content. Hemp seeds are the highest source of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, so these are really wonderful to add to anything, to smoothies, to bars, to salads across the board. And also a really good source of protein. So hemp seeds are wonderful. So we're gonna add those in as well. And then we're gonna add in some spices. Really the spices for this recipe you can do to your taste. I've chosen cinnamon and clove. I really like that combination. It's very classic fall kind of flavors. The cinnamon and the clove are both very stimulating spices, and so they kind of increase blood flow a little bit and kind of help you feel a little bit more awake, and so that's always great for an afternoon snack. And they also blend all the flavors together, so when you kind of add these spices to foods, it's a great way to just kind of blend everything together. And then our last ingredient is vanilla. And vanilla is just wonderful in terms of taste. So I'm gonna add a tablespoon of vanilla. Okay. Now we're gonna pulse this together and you'll see the sticky dough forms, and that's kind of the goal. So we'll turn this on. And it's always great to kind of stop halfway through and push everything down. Kind of see, you can see that the dough is starting to form, so we'll pulse it a few more times. Okay, you can see in here that a nice dough has begun to form. You know it's ready when you can kind of grab it and you push it between your fingers and it molds together. And so that's when you know it's ready. This is a good time to kind of just take a little taste of it and make sure that it's to your sweetness that you really like and that it has enough spice to it. And so that's really delicious. You can already taste all the nuttiness from the nuts in there, and the cinnamon tones are really coming out as well. One thing though I did forget to add was the salt, which is always going to be a little bit of a flavor enhancer. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a pinch and we're going to pulse it one more time in there. Okay. So now we're going to transfer this to, please. We're going to transfer this to this dish. You can use any size dish you like. Glass is going to be best so it won't stick. And just kind of throw the dough into here. Okay. And with the back of a spatula, or if the dough is too stiff, you can also use a spoon, or you can even just use your fingers in terms of just pressing this out. You're going to just press this into bars. And then what you'll want to do is place this in the fridge for about an hour or so, and all the oils that are in those nuts and the dates are going to harden and make really firm bars that you can actually cut and eat. And so this is what we're going to do. So we're going to go ahead and place this in the fridge. And we're going to let that set. All right, so an hour has passed. So what we're going to do is take the bars out of the fridge. You can see that they've really firmed up, and so these are going to be able to be cut. And so you basically can cut them in any size that you'd like. And so that's exactly what we have here. So here's the finished product. And so you get these really nice, cute bars. They break easy, they hold together, and they're really great. So let your food be your medicine.